Now back to live coverage on the CRN Sports Network.
Looking for a life insurance company that specializes in what you actually need? Protection. Call Danny today with Symmetry Financial. Danny is certified in all 50 states, which means Symmetry Financial is not limited and has over 30 companies to choose from. Symmetry Financial has proved time and time again that their options and pricing is just better than the rest. Give Danny a call today at 828-994-1681 to see how Symmetry Financial can make life simple. This is CRN, the Community Radio Network, the voice of the community, the voice of anything sports, and proud to be the voice of the Comets. Follow us at crnsports.org. Now let's get back to the broadcast coverage on CRN.
The following is a presentation of the CRN Sports Network, solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission without the express written consent and CRN Sports Network is restricted and prohibited. Follow us online at crnsports.org. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the exciting world of motorsports. Everything from NASCAR to PASS to the Cars Tour, from short track racing across the country. This is Full Throttle, a part of CRN Podcast. I'm Wesley Outland, over 20-plus years, veteran sports personality, joined with Brandon White of Race22.com and, all the other cool things that he does. Sports Mayhem on WIZS, newspaper guy. And Brandon, I think that with all the craziness that we have been dealing with in our country, so to speak, with this coronavirus pandemic and everything else, one thing that's a mainstay, even though there is officially not like any racing officially going on, there still is racing going on with racing news as well.
So unique. I mean, all racing in general, really, because, you have football, basketball, hockey, you could simulate that, but not to the way that NASCAR can. Like, you can actually get a simulator, log into iRacing, and then bam, you can race online with people all over the country.
And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that because there's a lot of things we're going to discuss here in the next hour. By the way, we're also going to have on some guests along the way that are going to be calling in and giving their insights of survival, especially amongst all of this craziness that's going on in our world today with the economy and with this sudden stop of our world. And prayers to everybody. Yes. I'm a big fan of the Bible verse, 1 Thessalonians 5:17, and it's very simple. Keep on praying. And that's the best thing I can tell everybody right now is to keep on praying. Pray for our country, pray for our world, pray for our leaders, pray for our people, pray for our family. And again, Brandon, we know we're going to be back at the racetrack soon. We just have to get through this hurdle, this stumbling block that we're all going through in this crazy world called life.
Well, you're absolutely right, Wesley. And one way we can do that is to listen to what the CDC, the WHO are saying. Wash your hands, social distance, and the quicker we can flatten this curve, the quicker we can all get back to the racetrack and enjoy the things we love most.
But isn't this things that we already knew as kids growing up? I mean, my daddy always told me, never be a stinky butt, always wash your tail, wash your hands, brush your teeth, comb your hair, have good hygiene. I can't believe we live in a day and age where we got to remind people that this is what you need to do to get by in life.
Well, it's amazing how something as simple as that can be forgotten over time with the daily grind of our lives and stuff like that. It's a good time to remind people to do that, but, they should have been doing that beforehand.
I agree. And prayers to everybody that is ongoing with this coronavirus pandemic globally. And again, very soon we'll be at the racetracks. So, hey, let's be honest here. IndyCar shut down. NASCAR is shut down until May the 3rd, tentatively, hopefully, racing at Martinsville Speedway in that NASCAR weekend. Everybody is looking forward to that weekend because not only is it Mother's Day weekend, Brandon White, but it's NASCAR returning to Martinsville Speedway. Short track racing. We love short tracks. It's under the lights for the first time ever. And you've got the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, the Modifieds, all a part of that NASCAR weekend at Martinsville come May, if it happens on the schedule.
Well, I most certainly hope it happens, Wesley, because just close your eyes and imagine that event for 1 minute. Under the lights, everyone is going to be wanting to, release that energy from being locked inside their houses for 6-7 weeks or so.
For sure.
Just to watch some short track racing on a Saturday night at Martinsville, of all places. That could be the greatest race in NASCAR history right there. And hopefully everything stays on schedule and that event does happen.
And I know everybody is itching to get back to the racetrack, but while we talk about esports, let's talk about eNASCAR. We have already seen the resurgence of sim racing. Sim racing, esports, iRacing, R-Factor, NASCAR Heat 4, whatever you want to call it. We're seeing it. We've seen it in years past. But is it suffice to say, Brandon White, that they have really busted through with this shutdown, with this quarantine for so many people across the country, being requested to stay at home or being mandatory now to stay at home on lockdown in states like California, Washington State, New York, Ohio, other places are announcing lockdown too. Quarantine, if you will.
A blessing for iRacing, as bad as the situation is. But, first they had the replacements race at Atlanta the previous weekend, and then this past weekend, the Dixie Vodka 150 at the virtual Homestead Miami Speedway.
Yes.
I mean, wow.
And you had Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon of NASCAR on Fox on the call, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, almost 1 million viewers for a computer simulation race.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. 903,000 viewers.
Most viewers ever for a simulation event. I mean, that alone is impressive.
And now the Pro Invitational Series will race again this weekend at virtual Texas Motor Speedway. Might I add, Jeff Gordon, Mike Joy on the call. And they're opening up the ante, Brandon. Not only is it going to be on FS1, it's going to be on Fox Sports National TV and on the Fox Sports app.
Wow, that's impressive. They really did such a great job showcasing that event last Sunday. I mean, it felt like watching a real race at times. I mean, we all understood that, yes, it was on a simulator, but it felt real. They were taking it seriously. They were trying to get you invested in it. And that alone is part of the presentation and why it sold so well. I mean, they said it during the broadcast that at one point it was like the top trending topic on Twitter. I mean, how often is NASCAR the number one trending item on Twitter? It almost never happens.
Right, exactly. And of all things, a sim race.
Yeah.
Of all things. And you know what? I think it's really cool. And that's one of the reasons, Brandon, why we created CRN Podcast amongst all of the live broadcasts that we do with sports, with racing and basketball and baseball and softball and football. And I will promise you this, that once we get the green light to start broadcasting again, we will broadcast like we never lost a beat. But I think this idea that me and Trace Knight came up with doing these CRN podcasts, they're great because you have any and everything that you can think of. And even if it just takes your mind off of this pandemic, off of the crazy world we're living in, you're driving down the road coming home from work, if you're still dealing with going to work with everything that's happening, or if you're staying at home, or if you're outside spending time with your kids and you're a race fan, basketball fan, sports fan, what have you, just like on Full Throttle, you have a chance to hear talks about motorsports.
That's right, Wesley. I mean, we need all the distractions we can get right now, and hopefully we can do a good job of that for you guys.
Definitely. We are getting ready to go to the commercial break here in just a few moments. When we come back, we are going to connect with Kate Dillon of CrateInsider.com. She is going to talk with us about how she is still promoting her business, Top 5 Tuesday, Ecom Coach, the Racing Insiders podcast, and, of course, in addition to that, CrateInsider.com and Winning Motorsports Marketing. While people are struggling in the motorsports industry, she is finding a way to help people with prospering them, giving them hope and courage, and letting them try to achieve what they're dealing with in these trying times. But Brandon, before we go to commercial break, I do want to get your thoughts on this, because it was announced on Tuesday afternoon that NASCAR is requesting for all race teams to cut their finances, to cut their salary pay for race teams, for drivers, for crew members, for workers, engineers. Good, bad? We've seen a decline in the sport because of it. What is your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it was something that was inevitable given the circumstances, but I just really hate it for all the team members, honestly. I mean, nobody saw this coming, and so many people are in trouble right now in the NASCAR industry. The only thing we can hope for is that this blows over quickly and they can return to their jobs soon. I mean, I hate it, but unfortunately, it was something NASCAR had to do in this situation. They didn't want to do it, but they had to.
So, is it suffice to say that we have definitely reached, this needed to be done, bottom line. This had to be done.
Yeah.
Or is it really gotten that bad? I mean, and you know what? I work in racing. I work in broadcasting. I work in sports. You are a journalist with the Daily Dispatch in sports, Brandon. All of our lives, and I'm not just saying mine, so many people's lives have changed because of what's happened since March the 12th to our country. The day the world of sports stopped is the day a lot of people's careers got put on hold.
Right. And but yeah, like you said, you've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this is my 4th year doing this now, and we've both seen our fair share of things, and this is something that you and I have never seen before, and hopefully we never see again afterwards. But you talk about like the finances of everything. Like you said, it was something that NASCAR had to do, and unfortunately, these teams aren't making money right now. You and I both know that this isn't the most profitable industry in the world. So when the races stop and the fans aren't at the tracks, I mean, where's that money coming from? So yeah, it's not the best situation right now.
Definitely. And again, we are going to speak with Kate Dillon of GreatInsider.com, e-com coach, winning motorsports marketing, and GreatInsider.com, and the Racing Insiders podcast to get her thoughts on all these things here coming up in just a moment. So, again, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will be joined by Kate Dillon, and we will discuss these things. This is Full Throttle. It's all part of CRN Podcasts. Go, of course, to our official website of crnsports.org. We'll be right back after radio timeout.
Looking for a life insurance company that specializes in what you actually need? Protection. Call Danny today with Symmetry Financial. Danny is certified in all 50 states, which means Symmetry Financial is not limited and has over 30 companies to choose from. Symmetry Financial has proved time and time again that their options and pricing is just better than the rest. Give Danny a call today at 828-994-1681 to see how Symmetry Financial can make life simple. This is CRN, the Community Radio Network, the voice of the community, the voice of anything sports, and proud to be the voice of the Comets. Follow us at crnsports.org. Now let's get back to the broadcast coverage on CRN.
Unforgettables. Nice. This show sponsored by Unforgettables. Unforgettables creates detailed hand-painted baseballs for every baseball fan. Check them out at unforgettables.com.
Now back to live coverage on the CRN Sports Network.
Welcome back to Full Throttle. Wesley Outland, Brandon White. This is a part of CRN Podcast.